Good morning and welcome to CompSci.rocks, and the next in a series of videos going over array algorithms to help you get ready to make a 5 on your AP exam this May. This time we're going to step through the process and code of finding the sum of all values in an array. This is a really common task on the AP exam, either as part of a free response or within a multiple choice question to trace. To do this, we're going to need an array to look at. Size doesn't really matter, nor do the contents. The algorithm takes care of that. So we'll just start with this array with 7 integers and fill in a 7, a 3, a 9, a 2, a 1, a 0, and a 6. And then let's go ahead and move the array out of the way a bit so we have some scratch space. We're also going to need a variable to hold the sum of all the values, which I'm going to name sum and start with a value of 0. Now that we're ready to look at values, what we'll do is look at each of the values in the array and add that value to sum. Remember, Java has to look at each value individually. So let's start with the 7. And we'll add that value to whatever currently is in sum. And so 7 plus 0 is 7, and we'll store that 7 back into sum and get rid of the 0 that was there already. Same thing with the 3. Sum is currently 7, we'll add 3 to that and get a running sum of 10. And we just keep repeating. 10 plus 9 is 19. 19 plus 2 is 21. 21 plus 1 is 22. And even though the second to last value is 0 and won't change the value in sum, we still want to go through that same process. So we add 0 to the existing sum of 22 and end up with 22. And last, we add 6 to 22, which changes sum to 28. And with that, we've looked at every element in the array and calculated the sum of all values to be 28. Now that we have a general idea of what we want Java to do, let's switch to code and make that happen. First step is to create the array that holds our values and the sum variable to keep track of our running total. Since this is just a quick demo, we're going to print out the sum at the end. Now we need to loop through the array and look at all the values just like we did in the example earlier. Since we're summing up all the values, we need to make sure that we check every element in an array. And usually the easiest way to do that is to start at position 0 and go up to and including position length -1. Although since we're summing up everything, it really doesn't matter what order we go in as long as we check every value exactly once. Inside the loop, we add the value we're looking at to our running total, and this gives us a working solution. We can shorten it a bit by using the plus equal operator instead of sum equals sum plus array I. Does the same thing, just less to type. And then we can shorten it a bit more by switching to a for each loop instead of a classic for loop. Still less to type and ends up with the same result since we're looking at every element in an array. And then last, let's wrap up everything into a method so it can be called from other parts of our code. Two things to notice here. First, we don't see the values in the array. It's coming in as a parameter, which means it can be used with any integer array. And second, we're returning at the end instead of printing so that the results go back to the calling method. And with that, we're done. Thanks so much for stopping by. Be sure to check out the other videos in this playlist for more array algorithms to help you as you prepare for your AP exam in May. And if you're more of a reading and text type learner, there's a link to a blog post in the comments below.